You talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, pretty fun episode right here on Keek on the Mic today, as the report out of Chicago is former offensive lineman says new Bears offense is perfect for Teven Jenkins. And obviously, we have been talking a lot about on this podcast how Luke Getsy's new offensive scheme in Chicago will help elevate Justin Fields' game. But there's also a lot of optimism that Luke Getsy's new scheme can help offensive linemen like Teven Jenkins and help take advantage of his biggest strengths as a blocker. And former lineman Chris Chester shared his stance to Kevin Fishbain of The Athletic on how great the wide zone system could be. This is what Chris Chester had to say. It's very friendly to the offensive line, the quarterbacks, and for me. It suited my skill set, said Chester, who began his college career as a tight end and played for Morgan and Washington. I don't know the roster there right now, but if you have guys who are athletes who can get in space, it's a really good scheme. One of those players is right tackle Teven Jenkins, whom Chester's trained at Ecos. He's a great example of a guy who can run and move and do some stuff, Chester said. You get to attack, you get to set the tempo, and you get a lot of easy throws off play action and boots and all the run action stuff you can create. And obviously, this is really good insight from Chris Chester. Obviously, like I mentioned, he got to work with Teven Jenkins a little bit, so he kind of understands the skill set that Teven Jenkins has. Chris Chester had the same skill set when he played in the NFL as well. But overall, this is really, really good insight from Chris Chester. And usually when you talk to people about Teven Jenkins, especially before the draft, this is a guy that they, when you look at him, they really focused on his power and that unrelenting nastiness in the run game. And it's very obvious when you pop the tape on, especially his college tape. This is a guy that just runs people over, puts people in the dirt, and rubs their face in it, right? But Teven Jenkins is so much more. Teven Jenkins is also a really, really, really strong athlete as a football player. When you look at him as an athlete, especially his combine stats, he ran a 5.01 40-yard dash, which was the 9th fastest at the combine. He was the 5th best vertical jump at 32.5 inches, and his shuttle time was a 4.66. So Teven Jenkins, when you look at him, has all the tools to be a wide zone stud, and he fits perfectly in Luke Getsy's scheme. And obviously, Jenkins possesses that power that we talked about. He can run people over. He's really, really nasty in terms of the run game, and that will help a lot in Luke Getsy's scheme, as it will be a run-first offense. But he also holds the ability and athleticism to move outside the pocket, which is also a big asset when you look at the Luke Getsy scheme that he is bringing to Chicago. And obviously, we talk about this a lot. We talk about Matt Nagy a lot, but the most frustrating thing about last year is that Matt Nagy never did enough to take advantage of those strengths, right? Which comes as no surprise. He did it to basically all his players on the football team. Matt Nagy never took advantage of his player strengths, which is going to be really, really different with Luke Getsy calling the shots. So with Luke Getsy calling the shots, you can expect him to utilize those strengths, especially with Teven Jenkins. There will be many stretches, pulls, bootlegs, and other plays to get Teven Jenkins on the move. And let me tell you something. Linebackers and defensive backs better be ready, because this is not a guy that you want to see in the open field. If I was a linebacker or a defensive back, and I'm a small guy, if I'm a defensive back and I see Teven Jenkins running towards me, I'm moving the hell out of the way. But I'm just saying, so those players better be ready, because it's going to add that dynamic that we all loved about Teven Jenkins coming out of college. So overall, and I said this a lot on the podcast, overall, it's really nice to hear that he will be put in a better position to succeed as a player. And that goes for all the players on the Chicago Bears roster. One thing that Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles are striving to do is to be able to develop their young talent. That is one of their main missions, to help the Chicago Bears get better, to help these players succeed and put them in a better position to succeed. And I feel like it's a beautiful plan. And I feel like they're going to do everything in their power to help put these players in the best position as possible. And I'm excited to see what Teven Jenkins is able to do in year 2. So Like always, before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Kick on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Kick on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it,